There we go. So now we're on. So
God.
now this is how we just do. We always do this to get started. So nice to meet you, Everett, with one T.
Same here. Yes.
Is there a difference between Everett with two T's?
Well, one is not my name. So, and we actually have a street named Everett here in Glendale with two T's. And growing up, I always used to complain to my parents as we drove by it, saying they spelled my name wrong and they've got to fix it sometime, and they never did. So,
well, you know, Everett, it's funny. I say it because I've interviewed people who are named Eric, and the ones with the K's always tell me they're way better than Eric's with the C's.
oh,
Then I have the CK ones, and I always laugh about that. But I'm Lot. My last name's Lot, and so I was always told the opposite. Why do you have an extra T on there? Like, it's not extra. I'm not a you know. But.
Yeah, I'm so used to people spelling it with one T, two T's, or adding an E on the end, or removing an E somewhere in the name. It doesn't bother me. So yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, every the E at the end. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that part. Yeah, okay.
You know what's funny about Les's name? People literally spell it Less.
Oh my God.
Oh no, I've never even thought about that.
Yeah.
Actually, me neither.
Really?
Isn't that funny?
Really?
I've never thought that either. But for me, I've never thought. Seriously, I never thought that. I'm like, that's right. I always know that less is one S when it comes to a person.
Right.
I've never even thought about that. People would actually do that.
I'm going to have to call him greater from now on, because everybody associated the word less and less together.
Less is more.
Yeah.
And greater. I like that. Because my name's James, of course, and so when people plural it, they'll like do J-A-M-E and apostrophe S. I'm like, no, my name is still James with an S.
Where do you even get that from? Wow.
New one.
I get all the time. I mean, it's a weird. I mean, I don't know. Do we teach people how to plural? Do we teach people how to? There's no more cursive in schools anymore. So
I know. Oh man, all that time spent in doing that, and people now, well, they're using computers than typewriter more often than anything else. Well, keyboard, but
Keyboard.
not
I
enough
use
time.
the dictate. I found the dictate button. I'm never going back.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
I love the dictate button. Of course, I'm not using my Remarkable 2. So Everett, good morning.
Yes.
It's so good to see you.
Oh, sorry.
Here.
Tell us about your hat.
My hat is a Mickey Mouse Disneyland hat, and
Yes.
I was going to wear this one, but I realized that it was just not really showing up as well as this one.
Okay.
For some reason on the camera. So I was actually outside, so I put the hat on, and so I just haven't taken it off, and I decided, well, since I already have the hat on now and you've seen it, I'm keeping it on because we're not doing, switch change of clothing while we're in the video right now.
We're not doing
You're not doing 10 outfits. But I like your print behind you. Can you tell me about that?
This?
Yes, I love it.
This came from Peru when I was down there, and actually it's 2 sections, and they've seen them together. And it's all hand done by the natives down there. And it was a way for them to, earn money. And I went to Aaron Brothers to have it, which is now out of business, to have it framed. And so I've had it there. Yeah.
He said Aaron Brothers. Wow. Because now they're part of Michael's.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Yes.
The branding. So I guess they buy out? Michael's buy them out?
Yeah.
I mean, Aaron Brothers is always kind of expensive anyway, but I liked Aaron Brothers.
Right. Yeah. Well, I liked it because I used to just go there and say, here, frame this, and walk away and come back and it would be done. And it was like, no brainer as far as, that goes. Yeah. And they had a warranty. So if anything ever would happen, they would fix it. Well, now that they're not there anymore, so much for the warranty, but yeah.
Yeah, I had Aaron Brothers that I went to was on La Brea. It was there for 1,000 years. And it was in Mid-City. And I used to go there. That's the one we used to always go to. Had the best customer service. Yeah, it was a little pricier. I had other framing places I would go to for other things, but there's times, you're right, they knew what they were doing. They were kind of the best in the business, so to speak.
Yeah.
That was about framing. Like what? So Eric, my mother used to own a framing business.
Oh wow!
Back in the 80s and 90s, called Bonnie Lou's Art, etc. And so she used to be a part of the National Picture Framing Association. There's a whole thing. I was like, and I'm still part of some of this because I became a co-owner at one point. We were kind of doing stuff, and so I learned there's a lot about framing and picture framing and matting, and I learned so much. It's like, this is great, but there's a whole world, you guys out there. There's an association for everything, as you know that. But there's a whole world of framers out there. So,
well, one of our very good clients here in Chatsworth is a picture framer, but they will frame your picture, but they'll do art, they'll do a massive collection for commercial type businesses and things like that. But when I go in and I get something framed, they'll say, do you want it to last? Do you want it to last? And do you want whatever you're framing protected? Because there's special glass.
Yes, there's
museum quality. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so you end up spending hundreds of dollars. But I gotta tell you, it hangs on the wall for a lifetime. So really, it's not that expensive when you think about, the daily joy of having something that you love. Like my cookies are for closers poster that I right above me. Yes, that was done by Aaron Brothers. Yeah, my store was Woodland Hills.
Look around, man.
I feel like we're in an Aaron Brothers confession.
I know. I have to confess to you guys that all my everything's there for Aaron Brothers. No, I mean, it's because to me, I'm a person that depends on what it is that I'm framing, how much I'll spend on it. Because you go in there, I'm like, it's my grandchild's artwork. I don't care about that. I mean, I don't want that the museum quality, glass. But my diplomas and things, my degrees, I want those and something really good. Yes, of course. So it's kind of weird. I'm like, I do have like a price point thing. Right. Like, sure, whatever. But Aaron Brothers was good. They were good. Michael's, it's been hit or miss. Hit or miss.
I haven't been in a Michael store in years. I used to go there all the time on the sales to get my candles for emergencies. That's the reason why I went in there.
Emergency, wait a second. Wait, stop.
Yeah,
what kind of emergency requires candles? Like
power outage? Yeah.
Power outage. Okay.
For me and for the residents.
Yeah.
I would hand out candles. It was goodwill, good nature, and safety thing. And I'd make sure they promised not to burn down my building.
But Everett, I'm trying to think. I didn't know they sold candles there. I tell you, I didn't know they sold.
Yeah. They have a whole huge aisle of all different sizes and flavors and scents or whatever it is.
Flavors and flavors. I didn't realize that. And I used to work at Michael. I didn't work at my. Let me look at that lie back. I didn't work at Michael's. I was a teacher at Michael's.
Oh.
So I taught before the pandemic. I feel like I say that all the time. Pre-pandemic, pre-COVID, pre-lockdown. I was a professional organizer for them, and I would use their products and teach people how to use them and get paid for them. I had pitched them. They do arts and crafts and cake stuff, and I said, "You have organizing products. Like, what if I come in and show people how to use your products?" They're like, "We love it." And I did that for a year. It was great, and then.
Wow.
They shut all the time. Yeah. But I didn't work at Michael's. I worked at Michael's.
Yes. Yeah. I used to wait for the flyer to come in the mail once a week, whatever it is. And I would go right to the section on anything that was for free or 2 for $1 or discount and go, yep, there's candles. Need more candles. Go get it. And that was it.
That's what I think. Do I have any candles in my house? I have the decorative. I have the candles, like soy candle. I burn candles every day. I was like, do I have any just regular candles just in case? Good question. Like a little note to I see Melissa note to myself.
Note to yourself. But if you had your remarkable two, you could file that, organize that away in your candle to-do list.
Candle to-do list.
I'm a huge fan of candles. I burn candles. I love candles. I think I have some regular, but mostly it's really all about the fragrance.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. Set a mood.
Everett's like, no. He's like, nah.
No, I know. Well, utility. I go back so far. I don't even have to see him on the Zoom camera. I already know he's rolling his eyes out.
Well, how long you guys know each other?
1998.
Okay.
Honestly, folks, he's the older brother that I never had.
Oh,
did you see it?
He's an older brother. He's an older brother. I'm like,
he's the older brother I never had. No, in sincerity, like Everett is the man next to Les in my life.
And you have no wrinkles. I mean, look at you. You have no wrinkles. If you're older than us, you have no wrinkles. You look good.
Oh, don't tell him that, James. I'll never hear the end of it.
I feel like I'm old.
Dinner and I'd be like, oh, are those wrinkles?
No, the secret is using the Dove bar for your face wash.
The Dove bar.
Okay.
That's all you use. If you could only see my drawer full of creams and lotions and concoctions.
Oh, me too.
No,
Dove bar, James.
Yes.
No, Dove bar.
That's
And Avena shaving cream. That's all I ever used.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys like
James.
so he predates me. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I've known you since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Everett and I have been friends for a very, very long time.
So what this means, James, is when you're on the phone with Melissa and I call, she hangs up on you without even saying goodbye. Just it takes my phone call.
As she should. I totally get that. Hey, you beat me in years, so of course.
If you haven't already picked up on it, James, Everett is super competitive.
Oh, yeah. But see, I give in. I'm not a top 8 person. I just give in. Sure, you're right. You
Yeah,
win.
sure.
Oh, that's no fun. There's no rise or nothing out of it. That's just a waste of my time.
Yeah, I'm a type person. I'm a type person. I'm like, sure, okay, fine. I love everybody. It's fine. You can do what you want.
Our relationship has lasted so long because he can poke and get the response that he so yearns to get on a regular basis. Yeah, we feed each other.
Oh, man. There was one conversation we were having on the phone. I forget what the topic was, but you were done with it. And I was going, no, we're still talking about it. You go, no, we're done. And you were arguing with me for at least another 15, 20 minutes. Like, I'm going to hang up. I go, no, we're not done. And I kept you on the line. And you even said, I can't believe I'm still on the phone discussing it, but I don't want to hang up. So, yeah. It's a good audience.
A relationship that will last a lifetime.
So you guys, because I always say in adult world, it takes you have to like really work on friendships because unless you work, because we don't work in the same office together. You have to water cooler, that kind of stuff. You have to make work. So you guys, I guess, just have always kept in touch. It's always there's no question.
Yeah,
absolutely, yes.
I think we talk at least once a week. There's text messages to go back and forth.
Yeah, at least. The fun thing about Everett is he's really wicked smart. And he likes to share his humor.
Oh.
And Les and I adore Everett, and so we're always responding. So there's always an exchange of good fun and we get to meet, pre-pandemic, we met a lot more, for dinners and lunches and brunches and everything. So
and Les has a wicked sense of humor. I mean, he just comes from left field, and it's a home run type of thing at the same time. It's just killer. Oh,
it's one of the many qualities I love.
And he catches you off guard. You never think he would do that, but he can go into the gutter or rise above it in the same sentence.
And that's the best amazing thing. That's the best. Yeah. Those are the best ones. The ones you're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Like, I can't believe you went there, but okay, it was funny.
I'm like, wait. So what part of LA are you in? Everett?
I'm in Glendale, right about Pasadena.
Yeah,
on that side.
Yeah. And what do you do for a living?
The family owns apartment buildings, so that's been my mainstay growing up. But we also diverged over into the computer side. So I do website design and programming, and my brothers are actually more into the hardware and security side and database side.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's what
you're smart. You are smart. You're smart.
Yes, he's super smart.
Yeah, he's a smart. He's a smarty. He's a smarty. I'm like, I'm like, man, that's how I wish. And it's funny because I grew up going to the first Apple computer camp in '83, and I took these. I didn't follow through with all that. I said, I'm be an artist or whatever. I don't know. I just went the other direction. I mean, weird.
See, and I can't even draw a circle with a compass. So yeah, we got each other. We got each other balanced right there.
This is a circle with a compass. Now that's crazy. You can't draw one of those. Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
No.
And they always say, "Oh, draw whatever you want." So it's a stick figure of a house, literally with a little chimney thing and a little smoke, and that's my artistic limit. That is it. So I give you all the props for artistic stuff.
So you must. Well, I might give you all props because you must have a million stories over the years of just dealing with apartment people and people.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that's it. I tell people to own property and have people live in your property is not the easiest thing on earth. And I know it isn't.
No.
I know it isn't.
No. And I complain to Melissa all the time and all my friends all the time. And it just at dinner conversations, I'll give one really quick on just, you wonder what people are thinking. We had a resident where the toilet would not shut off. So it just run the entire time. And they let it run all day long, but they would use the cutoff valve at night to turn it off because it was making too much noise and they couldn't sleep. And so in the morning, they would turn it back on again. So the toilet would just waste water and let the water go right down the toilet. And it went on for weeks. And the only reason we found out about it is because we were doing our semi-annual inspection and we're going, your toilet's running. And they go, well, of course, it's been running for weeks. It's like thousands of gallons of water, a day, a week are going down this thing. And you didn't tell us. I said, well, we didn't want to bother you. Meanwhile, my water bill is hitting the second and third tier.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it. So it's the thought process. Like, you're wasting water. You're wasting water. It's bothering you enough. You're turning it off at night. Can you hear the voice? Can you hear the voice?
Yes, I hear the voice. You went $5 higher. You went $5 higher. I was like, yes, I'm all, thank you.
And all you can do is just smile and say, well, next time, please let me know if you're having an issue in the apartment. And, you mumble on your way out the door.
Right.
That's what you do.
Well, I always say, because, I was a renter and now, I own now, but I was a renter, but I was always very careful and mindful where I live.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't. That's the thing. When you're renting, they're like, it's not my place. They don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've noticed that. That's the problem. When you own, you feel a little different, it seems like. But when you're just renting, they'll take care of it, or that's their problem. Like, that's not good.
So what we try to do is go in twice a year, just before summertime and just before winter time, or just after winter time. And it depends on what's going on. We found we try to go in more often and they just get upset. So at least we can check things every 6 months and say, all right, this is what we have going on, and try to fix it. And again, obviously, if they have any problems, and every time we see a resident, we always ask them, how's everything in the apartment? Anything we need to fix? They'll still lie to you and say no. Meanwhile, it's half burned down and then, there's raccoons living in it.
No,
But
fire and liability insurance agent, there will be none of that.
Oh, here she goes. There she goes. I love it.
Oh, man.
Do you like Glendale? Because I like Glendale. I've been over there. I have some friends.
I do, because it's a nice little community in the sense of, you go to Hollywood, you go to Pasadena, you can go to Burbank or whatever it is, to go and do whatever you want. And you come back to Glendale, and we've shut down by 10 o'clock at night, except for some of the major restaurants. But it's a sleepy little town, but we still have problems like any other city. But we're surrounded by freeways, which means if I want to get anywhere, I can get there, other than Hollywood, because you can't get there by freeway. You have to go through Griffith Park and all that stuff. But it's nice. We have 3 hospitals. I have fire departments right down the street from me, and the police department are really responsive, and people are nice. So it's not so bad.
Well, it's funny because I didn't realize how close it was to downtown LA. Because I have clients here. We would just shoot over to Glendale. Like, oh, well, it's right over here. Okay, I didn't realize that.
Right.
I like it. No, I like it. I think it's like cute. I'm over in Inglewood, so I like being close to the water. I feel landlocked further in. So I like being by the water and all the airport. I like all that. So, but I always get a little stuff like, why? There's no water over here. Where's the water? But if I had to move in further in, that's one place I would probably look at. I think. I don't know about you, Melissa. I mean, I know you live out in the valley, but
I live in Chatsworth, so we're up against the mountains, in the very northwestern part of San Fernando Valley. So we get all the extreme weather elements. So I'll just say this, I really love living in Chatsworth, because otherwise I would move. The wind comes, for you it's wind, for us it's like gale force winds. So it's just but it's a beautiful, still beautiful part of the San Fernando Valley. And I've lived on and off in Chatsworth for half my life, so I really do love it here. I don't love the crime elements that have started to pick up in the neighborhood. Whenever it's said, oh, the police, they're really fast to respond, I'm like, what?
Not here either. Not down here either.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, we had an episode where there was a repossession of a car, and it was I actually reported it because I thought somebody was stealing the car. And we had 3 police cars and 6 officers there in 2 minutes type of thing. It was great. And
Wow.
other times, reported accidents, and we've had helicopters circling overhead. Everybody in the city is over here. It's like, yeah. So they're really responsive. It's nice.
Yeah, no, over
Not
here.
much happens in Glendale.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
They're
true.
waiting. They're waiting
Yeah.
for something.
We get a lot of the elements from outside coming in, causing the problems with, graffiti or whatever else comes on. And, it's like, we can't keep them out, but that's just the way it is. So,
yeah, well, they're leaving our areas, going to you guys. They're going. They're like, bye. We're done with this side of town.
Yeah.
We're going east. We're going northeast. No, seriously, because a lot has changed over here. It's we have stuff still happening, but it's getting, obviously we have the metro being built here. We have the stadiums all being built here. I mean, it's just really changed. Inglewood's really changing, or the whole South Bay area is changing. So
right.
The element is changing also, I noticed. But it's getting a little crowded over here. I'm noticing that part. I kind of liked being. I feel like I was in a suburb, but not in a suburb. Like I feel like I was because I work in Hollywood, so everybody lives in West Hollywood or live in North Hollywood or Studio City. Like everybody's just there. I feel like I'm far away from you guys in the countryside by the water. But now it's getting crowded. Now it's getting crowded down here too. It's like, oh, they're all coming down here. Don't come down here. Leave us alone. You're fine. Don't go to Manhattan Beach. Leave us alone. I liked being over here away from it, kind of everybody, but still near enough where I can get to everybody. That's what I kind of like. I can still do 15, 20 minutes, well, without traffic. I can be in Hollywood, or I can be in downtown LA or Koreatown. I kind of like being off to the side.
Right. It's the same thing I feel growing up. I actually lived in the same property all my life.
Oh, wow.
Our street used to be, barren. There would be nobody going down it, whatever it is. And nowadays it's a drag strip. I mean, it's a main thoroughfare, but we're not a main boulevard. And it's just, the population's grown. And like you said, people are coming into the area. They're using us to bypass other traffic areas. It's like, no, this is my street, and go find a different street. And it's amazing. They just come right down. And I think the mobile phone has a lot to do with it as well, with the Waze and the Google directions. It's like, oh, there's a street. We'll take you down that one and, make you go a little faster this way.
Don't get me started on that, because there's times I'm like, okay, it is rush hour in Los Angeles, and I'm trying to get from Hollywood to Koreatown. So you're gonna take us down these streets where there are no lights.
Yeah.
The light's the next block over. Why didn't we go down that little side street? There's a light. You're gonna make us turn in middle traffic to turn onto Wilshire at 5 in the afternoon. I'm like, with no light. That's what killed me. Yeah, it was easy to get through the residential parts that you cut off like 10 minutes, but then you spend 10 minutes trying to cross into Wilshire.
Right. Yeah. And it's interesting. They've actually been sued by people living on residential streets, saying you brought more traffic down our street and made it a safety and security issue. I never heard what happened to it, but people were getting upset, let alone the drivers like yourself saying, there's no way I'm getting to Wilshire from here. I'm just going back home. It's just not going to happen.
That's interesting. I know. I didn't hear that. I would love to hear what happened with that, because especially what I'm talking about is going through Hancock Park, which is really rich and everything. I'm sure you don't want all these cars coming down there. They're nice $2 million home streets. I mean, they don't want that happening.
Right.
I mean, they don't want that. I mean, I don't want that in my house coming down my streets. I can imagine you have a nice house and it was a quiet street all these years. And all of a sudden, all the cars, we're all zigzagging through town. That would bug.
Yeah,
that would get on my nerves. And then whoever comes through there, whoever's coming through there trying to drive through. I don't know. I mean, you saw that girl got that girl with the baby. She was like robbed because somebody was going down Hancock Park. I'm like, it used to be a safe neighborhood over there. It's just crazy.
Yeah. And now it's when I come out, not so often anymore, but going out to visit Melissa, I would never use the maps thing. So I'd say, oh, I'll be there in 30 minutes. Now it's like, I'll be there in 27 or 25, or it's gonna be 35. It tells me, let me go from there.
Yes. So
I can no longer blame traffic. She can see where I'm going because she can make a route back to me. It's like, all right, everyone's running late. We know it again.
Oh, are you a late person or you're on time person?
I try to be on time. I really, really do.
He's laughing.
And if I run late, I like to call and say, yes, I'm 5 minutes, 10 minutes out just because of traffic or whatever it is. But I like that courtesy. If somebody's running late, let me know. If I'm showing an apartment I'll give them 15 minutes because I have to, because I want them to rent. But if they're 15 minutes and no comment, it's like, I'm not renting to you. So you can show up, you can lock the apartment. I don't, you don't have the courtesy, you don't have the timing. It's like, sorry. So,
I don't blame you. That one. I don't blame you, Everett. I'm completely with you on that. I give people a grace period for various reasons, whatever, for things. And then after that, and there's no communication at all. Like there's no text, no call, nothing, unless you lost the ability to dial, or your mouth fell off, or fingers fell off. There's no excuse. I always say this in a I don't want this to happen to you people, but you have to be literally in the hospital for you not to call me. And then I go, okay, got it. That's why you couldn't call me.
Right. Especially with the cell phone for everybody nowadays.
Everybody's on their cell phone. Everybody's on it. I don't know. All of a sudden, suddenly you're not on your cell phone. All of a sudden, when I'm with you, you're always on it. So I don't know what's going on there. Like, well, my cell phone's right next to me.
It's not a sore subject, James.
I've written songs about it, Melissa. Trust me. I'm still working that out. Trust me. I'm still working that out.
I have a question for the both of you. Because I think we all have a time limit. So James, you're waiting for somebody. How long do you give them before you leave?
Usually, if no communication, no call, no nothing, 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Everett, how about you?
The blood pressure starts to climb at 0. It's like, where are you? You're supposed to be here at 4 o'clock, not 4:05, whatever it is. I'll give them another 5 minutes, maybe 10, 15, and I'm gone. And it's like, you owe me flowers and chocolates and wash my car. Yeah.
So I would say for myself, 15 minutes, because I've been there. And I do a lot of business networking. We meet for coffee, lunch, whatever. And if I don't hear from somebody, I'll wait 15 minutes and I'll go, okay, something happened. They didn't call. So hopefully they don't show up and I'm not here and they think I'm the loser.
Right. Yeah. That's the problem as well.
10 minutes for me and I'm done. Bye, bitches. I don't have time. I'm busy. I got life going on. I'm like, see you later. Because I feel like I made the time and did what I had to do to be here at 4. Like you just saying 4 o'clock, to be there at 4 o'clock. So whatever I had to do, I made it here. And for my thing is, my time is valuable. Your time is valuable. I treat it as such. So if there's no phone call, because things happen. I'm not things happen. But at least let me know, keep me in the loop to say, hey, I'm trying to find parking. In LA, it's a big thing. I'm trying to find parking.
Right.
And sometimes I always say you should always try to come, add that into your time.
Yeah.
But it does. Sometimes there's extraordinary circumstances that happen. Like you didn't know there was, especially in LA, there's so much construction happening. You may not know. Like I was running late somewhere, and I sent a text going, they actually closed off this street. Sepulveda it's closed. So now we're all trying to get around. Like we had no idea. It didn't show us. Usually on the thing, they'll show you where it's really red or burgundy, where it's like it's really stopped up. This one didn't show us nothing. It didn't show and so it could be something that just happened. Anything can happen. So, but to me, communication to me, it's just I'm a big. I hate unnecessary stuff happening. That's my pet peeve. But it's just communication. Just like say I'm 5 minutes late. But I hate the ones where there's no excuse. It's like, well, I'll be there. We're leaving the house now. What are you supposed to meet me right now?
Right.
That bugs the S out of me.
Yeah.
Life itself. So yes.
Yes.
Yes. But I have one friend who's always late, so I don't get mad anymore. So usually I just I set it up for myself so that I don't feel like I'm waiting forever. So I don't get there on time either. So I have one friend that's a long time friend. I used to listen like almost like family. Wow. So I have one exception to the whole thing. They've never, I've known them 40 years. They've never been on time. I don't know what one time she would vacuum one time. I was like, why are you vacuuming? You have to listen me out and like put the can. So it's something about her but when she gets there, she's fully present, everything's great. So I give her the exception.
Wow. That's interesting because I had one friend, his name was Mark.
Oh, he's naming names. I'll name a name.
Yeah, I'm naming
Mark,
names.
I'm calling you out.
Mark. Hi, Mark.
And he was, we met in graduate school, and it was like, all right, we're going to meet for dinner. And so we had a little thing, and he was like 30 minutes late, no phone call, nothing like that. And I said, all right, whatever it was, don't really know him, it's just classmate. And then he started being late for everything. And I told him, I called him out one day and I said, hey, I'm here on time, you'll be here on time, or just drop it. I'm not interested in this anymore. So he was always on time for me and late for everybody else. I called him out on it. He realized that this was important enough for me to, but whatever it was, and he changed his attitude towards it. But his longtime kindergarten friend all the way through whatever it was, always late for him and always late for his girlfriend and now his wife type of thing. I was always on time for me. You got to call him out, James. You got to call him out, or her out, actually.
I call everybody. I mean, I trust me. I'm not a quiet person. I mean, they don't care. Some care, some don't. I yell at people all the time. I'm always yelling at people all the time. They're like, "You're always yelling at me." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're tired. That's why I'm yelling at you." They don't care. They don't care. So, folks, this is Coffee and Conversation with James and
Melissa
and Everett. So, hello, Everett. How are you? So, thanks for coming on the show with us. Thanks for joining us for our Coffee and Conversations, what we do on Monday mornings. About life itself. So we're glad you joined us. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Same here. Had a good time.
Thank you. I'm glad. And we're on all social media platforms under my JLJ Media, of course. You can follow us there. But also we're on all audio streaming platforms, from iHeartRadio to Google, Spotify, and Apple. So go ahead and find Coffee and Conversation with James and Melissa. There are a couple other Coffee and Conversations. They're not us, so don't follow them. But follow us and say James and Melissa and hit that follow button. Be kind, rewind. Yes. And then also, on YouTube, my online network, I have over 35 shows from soap operas to Star Wars, including this show. There's a playlist for the show called Coffee and Conversation with James and Melissa. Hit that subscribe button. I always point somewhere. It's down here somewhere. It's a red rectangle button, and it spells subscribe. So hit that. And follow us there and support somebody. Support the homie. That's right. Just do that. Everyone, please, this is the last show of the year of 2021, which I can't believe I'm saying that because I thought the year just started. I know I did some stuff. I don't know what I did, but I did something this year. But we made it. We all made it through. My hope for all of us and for Everett and from listening, everybody out there who listens or watches this, that 2022 is infinitely better for all of us, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever you need, please. I hope it's way, way, way better. I'm going into it smiling. I'm hoping that it will be. But we are happy to be here with you guys. And we'll be back in January. So we'll let you know when those dates are. But we will be back with more episodes of Coffee and Conversation with James and Melissa. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.